Hey everybody, it's Memorial Day, and Jason, I think it's the first day that we've been out here in months where it isn't blowing 25 miles an hour.
I know, I'm so excited. The windsock's barely moving.
So the reason I'm in RC is because of all these guys behind us. I wandered in here about 13 years, maybe 14 years ago, and said I wanted to learn how to fly RC, and they took me under their wing and helped me build my first airplane, and were nothing but supportive, even in the 3D days. These guys were never anti-3D or anything like that.
Totally. I remember coming out here back when I started at Hobby Lobby and watching David Payne fly and wanting to be like that. You know, I want to fly that good, and you know, really worked on it. But
we were talking to Stuart from Hobby King at Joe Nall, and he said that when he saw their Sky Mule fly here, that it kind of touched his heart because he'd watched all those Hobby Lobby videos back in the 90s and 2000s, I guess. And this was kind of like a sacred field to him. And the funny part is, this field's literally probably 2 miles from my house and just down the street from you. Yeah,
it's a great place to fly. Memorial Day weekend, we're having the big flying extravaganza with the local club here, the Edwin Warner Model Aviators. We're gonna have some barbecue later for lunch, flying all day.
I did not see any Dr. Pepper in the Dr. Pepper case. Maybe that's coming, I don't know. Usually there's DP.
We'll have to work on that.
The thing about this field is it's you can only fly here between 8 and 3 on a weekday, never on the weekend, because there's baseball fields and soccer fields, and so you can't fly around kids. So the fact that it's Monday and we can fly here is a big deal. So that's why it's a popular event.
Yeah, it's great. So I brought out the Volantech RC Ranger FPV plane. We're gonna fly that some. I've got a camera on it. I just put some gear in there.
What camera do you have in the nose?
I've got the Sony WD-770. It's a 770 line. Really nice camera. It has a nice wide dynamic range, so you can see whether you're pointing into the sun or away from it. Low light, it works great. Really awesome camera. I've got I think it's a 1.3 maybe, a nice wide field of view lens, so I can see a lot going on around it.
The interesting part for me about the Ranger is that it actually has a gimbal attachment on the bottom, so you could run your gimbal and GoPro.
Right. So right now all I've got is an FPV transmitter on 5.8 and the camera on the front. I've got mounts for my gimbal. I'm going to put a GoPro 2 probably 3-axis stabilized camera gimbal to record video with. And then I'll probably even put a pan tilt on top. It's got a flat mount canopy hatch that is designed to put a pan tilt on it. So we'll end up doing that as well. And then I also want to put a full autopilot on this just to max this thing out, do what it's designed for, GPS, the works, you know.
Do you know where you're going with that yet, with your autopilot?
I don't know. I haven't decided. I really like the FUTech one that you did a review on.
And they have, the thing I keep pushing him towards is mine will run on multi-rotors or airplanes, but they make one that's airplane only. You know, it's only $159.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm leaning heavily towards that right now. I'm still doing some research, but I'll probably end up with that one. Just go with the airplane version is fine. And you've got that in your Finwing Penguin, which is here also, right?
Yep. It's all ready to roll. I brought my Penguin, and of course it's got the Boss Cam video transmitter, and I've got a pan and tilt. I think it's a Fat Shark camera on it, but you don't know about this. Ready Made RC is sending me a new camera. He said he thought it was the best camera of its kind in that class, so that's coming. And then I also ordered some, I just have the standard pan and tilt, and I ordered the 180-degree pan and tilt.
Oh, you can turn all the way around?
Yeah, so I can look at my tail.
Awesome.
But I've got this thing, the Penguin, I have to say, I'll probably kill it today after saying this, but every time we put it in the air, man, it's pretty rock solid unit.
It's been great. And then I also brought a couple Durafly planes, the P-51 that I did a review on, as well as the Sky Mule, which I was wearing out earlier. The guys seem to like that a lot. And then I brought the Ultra Micro Radian. I bring the baby Radian just about everywhere I go.
It's your pet. It's like your cat.
It's like my pet.
And then I brought the LaBelle in case we get everything flown.
There you go.
I'm going to go out in the field and throw the LaBelle around. But the coolest thing I brought was the pool toy, which we need to talk about this on camera.
That's what everybody wants to see fly.
So you saw it at Neat, maybe. It's a pool toy. It's an inflatable 60-inch wingspan jet that a kid would ride on in a pool. And the Woods, the father and the son, I think it was his father, took it to Neat Fair.
Neat Fair, yeah.
And so I saw it, I called him up, I'm like, I gotta have this, and he helped me figure out how to cut everything and how it worked and the CGs on the handle, blah, blah, blah. So we bring it out, and I knew my motor was too little, and with the first flight, it flew, but it wouldn't climb.
Yeah.
So then I put a 4120 on it, because why wouldn't I?
Go the other direction.
The concept was I didn't want to buy anything. I wanted to use what I had laying around.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, it's a giant airplane. Why not put a giant motor on it? And so today we will have the 4120. I rebuilt the tail group with Coroplast to make it have more authority in the air.
Yeah.
And so we will get it flying today.
Nice. We're going 3S or 4S?
I'm going to start 3S.
Yeah, I think start small right now.
Yeah.
Just to see.
The problem is we get in the air and it would fly and then it would just torque roll right in the ground.
Yeah.
So that's the big deal. And then the other thing, I've been trying to get this in the air for the last 8 years, is the Funky Chicken.
Yes.
Which Jason and I, we brought this out at Hobby Lobby, had a contest.
Brilliant.
And I had this built for Seth 8-9 years ago.
Yeah, right.
But I've never flown it since, and so I spent yesterday putting everything back together, making sure it ran. So I want to fly the Funky Chicken and impress the children, because seeing a chicken fly around seems to make people laugh.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. Well, let's go check out some of these airplanes and let's get flying, man.
All right. The tail group originally was foam, like the rudder, but I wanted to get it, I just wanted to make sure it was nice and solid, so I took some foam core and cut myself some elevons and put some 40 size servos in. And by the way, the Coroplast, although heavy, was awful nice to work with, especially when I was kind of hinging it on itself. And then the only other interesting feature is I rebuilt the firewall and put the 4120 in there. I think that's a 14.7 prop. I had a 15.8 and I went down just to try to tame it a little bit. And then the battery lives in the nose cone, and then we'll see how this goes. All right, everyone, it's time. We're putting our best pilot on the job. Brother Neil is the launcher.
Fly.
I'm gonna hope for the best and prepare for the worst, Jason.
So, with this, what are you thinking?
Thinking just like that.
Don't give it any...
Wait, the wind's going this way.
It is going that way.
Yeah.
You want to move over a little bit?
No, I would account for the dip. Use that.
You just gotta climb out.
If it dips, you have less ground
You
there.
need to slow it straight ahead, Jason?
Yeah.
All right.
Just a nice gentle lunge. Get a little speed up there.
Just let me know, say go, and I'm just going to give it a push out and let it go.
Okay. That was full throttle. I couldn't climb.
Yeah, he had full.
So we need a 4-cell.
We need a 4-cell.
All right, we had a 3-cell, we moved to a 4-cell, and now we're gonna give it a shot. A small child said it will never fly.
Wait, hold on. It's just that downwind.
We're fine.
All right, I'm just going to go there.
Jason, I'm really disappointed, man. The problem is we break a prop every time we crash.
This airplane.
What are we gonna do? I say
Are we gonna let it defeat us, or are we gonna get it?
let's think about it. So we're running a 4-cell and we're running 4120. How much, what do you think, a bigger prop? It's got, no, to put a 15 on it. I checked the battery before we left. I got another one.
Prop on it. Let's try it one more time. We'll get higher up on the hill so we can get more runoff room. Maybe if we get some speed going, then it'll have some authority to climb a little bit.
All right. Snag dabbit. All right, Jason is flying the Ranger, and then a spectator was here. Man, you look good in those goggles. So this is your first FPV experience. What's it like being in the cockpit of an RC plane?
Very cool. I don't know, it'd be pretty tough to do, I think.
Actually, I find it to be easier to fly from the cockpit than on the ground. And I can tell by the look of your female companion that she would like you to wear these full time from now on.
That's very neat. You gonna try them out?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So I had a director friend of mine over at the house, and he'd never seen this either. And I just he's sitting at my back table. I put the goggles on him, and then I flew up. He could see Edwin Warner Park from the backyard, just sitting there at the table in my backyard.
That is something else. That's crazy. Alright, I'm videotaping right now. Are you ready?
And stand by to catch me in case something happens to
All right, we got Jason up with his goggles for the first time on the Ranger, Cinemizers.
It's just nice having a beautiful screen to look through. It's so clear, I can see everything. I mean, this is awesome. They feel comfortable. They don't feel like they're gonna fall off my face, like I've had other goggles happen.
So you're coming through your receiver on your...
Yeah, I'm using my Diversity Black Pearl monitor here and just video out to the goggles. The power supply off the Cinemizers is got its own battery, so you just charge that up, and then you don't have to have an external LiPo or anything to worry about. This looks gorgeous, and this camera has such a nice wide dynamic range, so I'm getting, you know, I can see the details in the trees and the sky as well, you know, the cloud formations.
Right.
And then all of the land is nice and crisp, and details are there, so this is a beautiful experience.
You know, I almost see how you can get used to it.
We learned a little bit today.
Yeah, we had a good time.
We threw the pull toy a few times, and I have good news, it flew.
Briefly.
Just like last time.
Briefly.
We're having some kind of weird torque roll issue. I'm guessing it's the motor. I guess I've got to go on a smaller motor on this thing.
I tell you, that thing does a wicked torque roll, though.
I got a little video, but it flew out of the camera, and I never got it before it kissed the ground. Here's the great news about the pull toy. It can really take a hit.
Yeah.
It's one big airbag.
It's a big airbag.
The drag is every time we crash it, we break a prop.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep trying.
I thought we were close. I thought we were going to have it.
I thought today was the day.
Yeah.
But the good news is the Funky Chicken, from a 9-year hiatus, jumped back in the air and did great.
Yeah, this thing was cool. It looked like an awesome little chicken in the air. I saw you do a loop with it.
It is funky though, because I kept trying to trim it out, and then I realized there's no trim here. Anywhere if I adjusted the throttle at all, it would be a little bit off.
Yeah.
But I just flew it, and it flew great.
Nice.
So
and,
yeah, tell them what you learned today.
So I flew the Volantech RC Ranger with the FPV from my screen of the what is it? The Black Pearl 7 or 8 inch monitor with Diversity, and I flew it from that so I could still visually look up and see the airplane. And what I ended up doing the second flight was going and hooking up the Zeiss Cinemizer goggles,
which I'm not going to be jealous of your Cinemizers, but you go ahead and tell them how beautiful it was.
So the screen looks amazing. They are the best goggles I've ever had on. Like, they look awesome. And it's so comfortable and lightweight, it doesn't feel like it's trying to fall off your face all the time, which was great.
And now we're in the heat, so I'm going to get in the fog zone.
Yeah, true. So the video was looking great, and I was up flying around, giving some rides, and I got pretty high and just cruising around the field here, staying in front.
And I was getting the Penguin ready. I thought, well, I'll fly up there with him. But I was thinking, if you're in trouble and I'm up there, and then you said,
I said, "Oh, Jim, my video's gone." And I had the goggles on. Luckily, I didn't have the eyepiece cups on to block out the light yet. So the video just went blank, completely gone. So I had to look through the glasses, line of sight. I knew exactly where the airplane was based on where I was on the field.
He got it right back.
It wasn't that big of a deal. It was flying straight and level. It was easy.
Kind of scary.
So I just grabbed it and landed it, and then when I got on the ground, finally my video came back, and I was like, well, what could have caused that? And I looked around.
So listen carefully here, other FPVers.
The only thing up in the air at the time was a Phantom Vision, which uses a 2.4 gigahertz signal to display, get the video down from the copter. But it uses a 5.8 gigahertz transmitter to talk to the copter to fly.
So it blanked you out.
And that's the only thing that was happening. That actually, the 5.8 signal from the Phantom transmitter blanked out my video feed.
And then when he turned it off, your video came back on?
Came right back. So
be aware of your surroundings. I'm glad we both weren't up there.
Exactly.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Here's another thing.
Be careful.
Jason wanted to get this thing flying and just try a little FPV today, and he doesn't have a return to home or heading or any of that good stuff.
Right.
And he had that when he lost his signal. We got a heli right in front of us. Had he had that, he could have just hit loiter or return to home and then got everything situated or visually taken over manual control of the plane.
Yeah.
So that's another great reason to have that.
I gotta have that next. It's just a nice peace of mind safety backup system. Always have a spotter that can take over the airplane if something happens, but you don't have to totally rely on that. But it is nice peace of mind to just be able to hit that switch and it's flying itself. Pretty cool stuff, man.
And a lot of the guys were watching us doing our FPV thing, and I was putting my goggles on people's heads, but they were like, "What if you lose it? You're just out of luck." And I kept saying, "No, man, return to home, loiter. There are things you can do to keep everything safe up there."
Yeah. So I do have to say I'm impressed with the Ranger as a platform. The wings are pretty long. It's like a 76-inch wingspan. Maybe 71, I'd have to double check, but it's a pretty big wingspan. There's a pretty long carbon spar inside, but the wings are a little wobbly. You can actually see them.
Right. It doesn't look like that spar goes all the way through.
It doesn't go all the way through, and there are extra spars at the back that kind of take over, but the wing's great. It's just not a sport plane. You don't want to haul around full throttle with this thing and do aileron rolls and loops and stuff. It's just a cruiser for FPV.
No, and it's all plastic, right?
Yeah, the fuselage is plastic. The wings are EPO foam.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
But for its intended purpose, I think it's brilliant. When you turn the motor off, this thing glides like a 2-meter glider. It just goes for days on the glide slope. So it's a fantastic flying airplane, and it's great for FPV. And with the 8,000 mil battery packs, I'm getting 20 to 30 minute flight times.
Yeah, man. And you never ever got near the end of that pack.
Yeah, more than enough. So I'm really, really happy with that. It's going to be a lot of fun when I get it completely outfitted with pan and tilt and the stabilized GoPro gimbal and start doing some videoing with it, chasing you around the sky with the
You'll have the
Penguin.
on-screen display, so you'll know what your voltage is.
Yeah,
you don't have to land.
Exactly. So looking forward to playing with that a lot more this summer and getting the review finished and written up on the site there.
So you don't have the stuff you need, because I was hoping we'd get going this week.
Yeah, I know.
Get back here.
I know. We'll have it, in the next couple of weeks. I'm sure I'll have it completely outfitted like I want, and we'll be able to go up and play, and we'll get the review video shot, and I'll do the write-up, and we'll get that on RCG.
Hey, and while we're sitting here, the goal is for us to start shooting videos, not just, usually we do reviews and we look at products and stuff, but we want to start doing general videos just about what we take out to the field and what we're doing, and just like today, things we've learned.
Yep, definitely.
So that's it. So be sure to subscribe so that when we throw a new one up, you'll get it as soon as possible, and we'll keep churning and burning out the video. Happy Memorial Day.
Woo.